Well, good evening and welcome to the joint. Tonight we got a new toy to take a look at, so stay tuned. You're going to want to check this out. Well, good evening and welcome back to Justin's Joint. It's actually been quite some time since I sat up the camera, sat up the microphone, and actually did a video from Justin's Joint with Justin's Joint as the background. It's kind of nice. I don't know why I don't do this more often. Oh yeah, it's because I work. Anyway, what we have tonight is something very special. I bought an Orient Sun and Moon several weeks ago, and I love that watch. Really, the only complaint I have about the watch is the watch band, which I replaced. I mean, I wore it for a couple weeks just to see, but as per my review, the little, the little clasp on the bottom side, it did start to dig into my wrist right here, and I kind of didn't like it much. I mean, it looked nice, and it is a high quality strap, but it just wasn't comfortable for me, so I went ahead and replaced it. But this is not a video about that particular watch. This is a video about a different watch, not this one. This is a video about this watch. What we have here is a Seiko diver's watch. This is I'm gonna have to read my notes. This is a Seiko diver watch SKX009P9. Now this watch here I picked up off of Amazon for $219. $219. And I can tell you it's a $219 well worth it. Well worth it. I love this watch. I mean, the Sun and Moon I really like, and it's more of a dress watch. It's a watch that I wear to work, although I wear this watch to work a lot too. But this watch is more of a utilitarian watch. This watch is very, I mean, aside from the blue and red colors there on the bezel, this watch is just something that, you'd see somebody wearing and you really wouldn't think twice about it. And that's kind of what I like about it. It's very simple. It's kind of, I mean, even with this rubber strap, it's kind of got an elegant look to it. And again, with the strap, I'm not entirely certain that I'm going to keep this strap, but I haven't switched it out yet because it is fairly comfortable. And, it's a diver's watch. That's you're not going to want a leather strap on a watch that you're going to take underwater, right? So, it kind of fits. It kind of fits. And the clasp here, or the buckle, it's fairly comfortable. So I'm probably going to leave it. So getting into the stats of this watch, let's just start with the dimensions. So I've got my calipers handy here. We're just going to give the diameter of this guy a quick measurement, and that is roughly 42, 43, depending on where you measure it, millimeters. That's in millimeters. This guy is roughly 14 inches thick, and the distance, the overall length of the body of the watch is about 45 millimeters. Okay, so it's fairly large. It's a lot bigger than this Timex, but it's not overly large. The thing that I really like about this is that it's not overly large, but you're wearing it. It's got some, it's a nice piece of metal, got a nice automatic movement in it. I mean, you're wearing this watch. Now, about the movement, I'll grab my pen and check stuff off my list as I say it. Got the dimensions. So the movement is a 7S26 movement. Okay, that's what this has got inside of it. Now a lot of Seikos have the display back. This one has a solid metal back. I assume that's for the waterproof aspect of it. But it's got a 7S26 movement. Now the accuracy of this movement, I guess, is not typically all that great. It's plus 15 seconds per day, which is, it's not all that great, but if you just keep an eye on it, you can move it around. It's not too terribly shabby. Speaking of setting it, it has the crown at the 4 o'clock position, and the crown screws down. So you screw it down that way. It must have a seal or something inside of here to form a nice watertight seal right here. So to set it, you actually have to push in and turn, and then that will free it up. That way you can pull the crown out to set the watch. When you're done, you push in and then turn it back this way, and it's locked down. Now this one here, it has basically the clock face, and it has the day and date at the 3 o'clock position. Very simple, very elegant. Once again, it's got the nice blue face to it. The other thing that I really like about this particular watch is that all of the hour markers and the hands, including the second hand, as well as this little dot in the bezel here, are luminescent. They glow in the dark. So I'll probably have to try to cut in some video of that here, well, maybe right now. Anyway, but they glow in the dark, that way you can see it. It actually, if on a full charge, it lasts several hours, which is kind of cool. So, not that I wear it to bed. I typically don't wear my watches to bed. But, if you're walking around in the dark or something, you could be able to see this. The other thing that's nice about it is that the second hand even has luminescence. That way, you can see in the dark that the watch is in fact running. So, yeah, that's a pretty sweet aspect of this watch. Now it has the bezel that is a unidirectional bezel. Right here, you can only turn it one way, which is kind of nice. And I guess that's for if you're diving, you want to make sure that you're not down too long. You can't bump it the wrong way to make it seem like you have more time than you do. You turn the watch, or you turn the bezel, then you would set the bezel, the arrow on the bezel, at the minute hand, and then as the minute hand turns, you can easily see how much time has elapsed. Now, if you were able to turn this thing this way, you might wind up thinking, accidentally, you might wind up thinking you have more time in the water left than you really do, and then you run out of air, and then you drown and die, which is bad. You don't want that. So, unidirectional bezel. Let me set that back up to the top. And, I don't know if you can hear that. Nice, crisp bezel clicks. So that's pretty nice. The strap on this guy, if you were to want to replace the strap, I didn't mention this before, or at least I don't think I did, is 22 millimeters. 22 millimeters. So about the water resistance, this thing is rated to 200 millimeters. I got millimeters on the brain. 200 meters, which that's deeper than I can tell you I will ever go. That just means that if I wind up taking a shower with this, or jumping into a swimming pool, it's not going to hurt this watch. This watch is rated for 200 millimeters. It's ISO 6425 compliant, if that means anything to you. It doesn't mean much to me. I'm sure I could look it up. I'm sure you could look it up. I'm sure that it's awesome. So I guess one thing that I have found about this particular watch that I'm not a huge fan of, it's not a deal breaker, I still love this watch, is that this watch, you cannot hand wind it with the crown. This watch, the only way to wind it up is by wearing it. So if it runs down because you haven't worn it for a little while, you just kind of got to give it a shake. This is an automatic movement, so it basically stays wound up by using the movement of your arm as you wear it. So if you don't wear it, obviously it's going to wear down. So if you leave it sitting, it's going to go down. You just give it a shake and put it on. You got to reset it. Is it a deal breaker? No. Is it annoying sometimes when I don't wear it for a couple days and then I find that it stopped? Yeah, a little annoying, but it's not bad. And my computer is over here making all kind of noise. So the other thing is, it does not have hacking, which hacking, I guess, is a nice feature if you're trying to synchronize your watch with something else. Hacking is when, when you pull out the crown, the second hand stops. That way you can synchronize it, say you have a group of people or you want to synchronize it with another clock. You pull it out, the second hand stops, you push it in and start the second hand when the clock that you're trying to synchronize with, hits the same point. But that I'm not too, whatever. It's a thing and it's cool, but do I necessarily need to have that? No. For what I use it for, definitely no. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my watches out. Right now I'm wearing this Timex. I'm going to put this guy on my wrist, and we'll just have a look and see how it fits on my wrist. And I've got some, my wrists aren't super huge, so this watch, you'll see that it's a little on the big side, but not terrible. Alright guys, so here's the watch on my wrist, and as you can see on my little wrist, it's not too terribly overpowering. I mean, it's just about right. And for a dive watch, I'm willing to accept that it's a little larger. Not a whole lot, but maybe a little larger than normal. But really, it fits my wrist very nicely, and this rubber strap, say what you want about how it looks, it really is quite comfortable, and it serves a purpose as far as being a dive watch for being durable. If you're going down into salt water or going down deep in the ocean or something. So there we have it on my wrist. It's just a really nice looking, smooth running watch that I really like. Alright, well, there you have it, and now I'm wearing it right here. The Seiko dive watch. I think, let me just check my list of stuff here. My handy dandy notebook here.
Right, we need our handy dandy notebook.
Let's see, did I check off all the boxes? I certainly did. So that's basically everything that I have to say about this watch at this point. I mean, nothing I said is anything that you can't find on the internet, but it is nice to see it on somebody else's wrist and to hear somebody else's general opinion about it, which, I'll be honest, the Sun and Moon is a nice watch, and that's the one that I probably wear the most, just because it's a dress watch. And with the clothes that I wear and the office that I work in, it makes sense to wear a dress watch. This watch here, however, is probably my new favorite. I mean, I don't know, the Timex that I was just wearing, another new watch, which I will probably showcase that at some point. It's a very run-of-the-mill watch, which is kind of what I like about it. But anyway, this watch here, it fits my wrist. It's not too terribly heavy. It looks really nice. It runs really smooth, and I love the lume in the dark, the way you can see this. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the market for a watch that's not terribly expensive, it's like in Justin's joint here, we're not ever gonna probably have a Rolex or a Breitling or a Tag. We're not I make a decent living, but I don't make that much money. So, it's all about having something nice, something high quality, something that's going to last. I mean, I am, excuse me, pretty certain that I probably will hand this down to my son. That's just, it's a Seiko. They're known for fairly decent quality. They're known for longevity. I don't have any qualms about it. This watch is with me for the long haul, and maybe even longer. And it's not that it's worth a whole lot, but one of these days when I'm dead and gone and this watch is still kicking, it might mean something to somebody. My son, maybe one of my grandchildren or something would want to have a piece of their grandpa, and then they could look back and find this old ancient video of their grandpa Justin looking at this watch, reviewing it on his channel 2 weeks after he bought it. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I want in this, I was looking for a watch that was simple and somewhat elegant, a decent price, but something that wasn't going to crap out on me after, you know, a year. So there you have it. It's a Seiko dive watch, and you saw it right here on Justin's Joint. So until next time, wherever I happen to be, hopefully it's right here in the joint, we will see you guys later.